Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is 4G on this channel, Mr. Supply Drops. Today, I wanted to make a quick video responding to an xQc gameplay clip, or I guess just gameplay in general, of him playing Deadlock, which I think is actually pretty awesome to see a bunch of big streamers playing this game again, because this game is fantastic. So, I wanted to make this video. I just want to make it clear I'm not hating on xQc or anything like that. I'm not making this video to roast him or whatever. I just wanted to make this video because I was, in theory, screaming at my monitor watching this video, and there was just so many mistakes that were easily avoidable, and I just wanted to make a video going over all of that so that if anybody watches this, they can learn from the mistakes in this gameplay. This man is just obsessed with farming, and that's understandable. I mean, we've all been there, alright? Everyone's been there at some point. I'm just trying to explain. Now, spoiler alert, he did win the game, but I will say in any higher rank than Emissary, this will not work. The higher up you go in rank, the less mistakes you can make in order to win. You don't want to sit in the jungle 24/7, alright? Like right here, this particular situation right here, never do this. Never just allow a walker to get pushed when hitting a tier 3 camp, or any camp, or doing anything in this situation. I'm gonna be real, your walker is a lot more important than that, because your walker will give them not only a crap ton of bonus souls, it'll not only give them a lot better chance for map control, but it will also give them an extra item slot, and that right there is pretty huge. So you don't want them to do that, alright? It's a lot more important to leave the camp. The camp will be fine, alright? You can just leave them there, alright? They'll stay the same health. You can come back to it in a minute, alright? You just go over back to the lane, and you shove wave. You shove wave, because that's a Rem. Rem versus Haze, yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine in that situation, honestly. In this game, you need to constantly be staring at your minimap. It is absolutely the most important thing that you need to be doing if you're not doing it already. And also, if you're in a position like this, right where xQc currently was in this clip, where you are the closest to one of the side lane walkers and it's getting pushed, or a wave is even being pushed, it is your responsibility to go over there and clear it and push the wave back, because no one else is going to do it. If you want to look at it from a farming perspective, because you just want as many souls as possible, well, think of it this way. When you push wave, when you prevent your walker from being pushed and attacked, you are gaining even more souls, because the lane creeps or troopers or whatever you want to call them give the most souls out of every way to farm in the game. They give more than sinner sacrifices, they give more than tier 3 camps. Push waves. So I'm just saying, this is one of those situations that you do not want to find yourself in, and this kind of goes throughout the entire time, and I'm just saying this for anybody who might want to learn from these mistakes is all I'm trying to say. All right, again, no hate to xQc, but I just want to say this is what you don't want to do. Then later on, it happens exactly the same. His whole team is fighting on one lane, one of the side lanes, and he is on the complete opposite side, and there's no walkers for him to take, but he's just sitting there taking their jungle while Shiv pushes their blue walker, and he allows that to happen. Now, you don't want to do that, alright? Also, if you really want to play well, you want to be the one who is pushing and putting pressure on them. You don't want to be the one reacting, alright? So, in this situation, he's reacting to 2 walker defenses. I mean, he didn't actually react to them, now that I think about it, but he should have, because that was his only option at this point based off of all the decisions leading up to this point. So that's what he should have done in that situation. But you still don't want to do that because you're at a disadvantage. You want to be the one doing that, because anytime you have to react, it is going to be delayed, and vice versa. If you push the enemy walkers, it is going to be delayed in them responding to it, okay? Whereas if you know that you're going to do something, of course, you have the advantage in that situation. So you want to be constantly doing something, all right? And when it comes down to what you should be doing in this situation, instead of just AFK farming, as we like to call it, is you should be bouncing between objectives, all right? If you are close to a fight that is going on with your team, you should go and participate in it. Not only will it get you assists, which will get you souls, but it will also help your team a lot and keep pressure on the enemy team, while also, on top of that, not allowing them to farm and get fed so they can't get as strong. It's something that is incredibly important, and sure, maybe that can happen with your team fighting by themselves, and maybe they do get the kill and they do it just fine, but a lot better and a higher chance if you go over there and help them as well. And just stealing all the camps, that is good, you know, that's good. You do want to steal steal the enemy camps, but you got to find the right time to do so. And I guess that just comes with time. That's something that you will just get a feel for over time. Now, I don't mean to jump into every single fight that you see, but if you are in the process of farming and you are very close to a particular fight that's going on, and it seems like a winnable fight, as in if you join in the fight, your team will have an advantage over the enemy team, then that is when you should probably take those fights. These are decisions you kind of need to make in the moment. It is difficult to get down, but it is something that is very important, and I'm just making this video to explain that these are decisions you need to be making. And right now, you're probably not thinking about it whatsoever, because you should be weighing the pros and cons between taking that fight, because sometimes you just kind of have to let your team die if they pushed in too far and there's nothing you can really do about it because they're just at a disadvantage. Then that's their fault. That's their problem. That you don't need to follow them in to help them. That's not what I mean. But if it does seem like your team has an advantage in the fight and you are nearby, you should be pausing your farming to take that fight. Now, I will say, yes, on Haze, you do need to farm, and farming is a big part of the Haze play style, I guess you could say, but he was farming a bit too much and only focusing on farming rather than being a little bit more aware of all the stuff that's going on around him and putting the farming on pause and then helping his team based off of that. But I will say, never be in their jungle when you don't have, actually I don't want to say never, but it's probably for the best. Usually you typically want your lanes to be shoved. All right, you usually want your lanes, your waves to be shoved. You never want to go past where your troopers are pushed, because this gives you access to a lot more map control. Pretty much, if the enemy has to respond to your troopers crashing into their walker, they're not going to contest you if you push into their jungle. So pretty much, if you and your team pushed the blue lane and the yellow lane, for an example, and they're both pushing towards their walker, well, now that gives you a lot better access to the jungle that is in between that for a couple reasons. One, like I said, you'll be able to see on the mini map when they go and try to respond to their waves, and it gives them busy work that they have to respond to, so they can't really contest you in the jungle. So those are some reasons. But it gives you zipline access. So if the enemy had access to the zipline pushing your walker, well, then they have access to the zipline all the way from their base all the way to your walker. And it goes the other way around as well. If you have that, that gives you way better advantage to, first of all, have reinforcements come in. So if you have any other teammates that might be coming in from across the map, the zip lines give great access to that. But also, it just prevents them from having reinforcements, which is the biggest thing here. So you kind of want to make it a habit to not really go into the enemy's jungle unless you actually have waves pushed. Waves are the most important thing. It is far more important than the jungle. Lane creeps not only put pressure on them, so it gives you map control, it also can get you closer to getting a walker, which would give you that slot like I mentioned, but also the fact that you get a lot more souls from lane creeps than from the jungle. I would not even worry about the jungle if there are lane creeps to be pushed, okay? Especially if you can get a solo lane in this situation, which he could have done. You could be fed. Also, you don't need to get mega fed to the point where you have like a 10 to 15k soul lead before you fight. You never want to do that, okay? Because then you're giving the enemy a chance to push your walkers as they've been doing, get their advantages, and you're just giving them more of a chance to do so while you're sitting there AFK farming in the jungle for 20 minutes, all right? I get it. I understand the idea. You want to just keep going and get the items as fast as possible, but I'm just saying it's not really how it works in the grand scheme of the game. And I just wanted to make this video because it's one of those times where you're just kind of like screaming at the screen, all right? And this is the best I got. I'm not going to literally scream at the screen, but I am going to sit here and make a response video to this particular gameplay clip so that maybe some people can learn from it, basically. I don't know. I just think that this game is very complex. I don't blame anyone for not thinking of all of these different things. I mean, it takes a lot of hours, a lot of games to actually fully comprehend. I was absolutely struggling with farming in this game when it first came out. When this game first dropped, I did not understand how people were constantly ahead of me in souls, and I mean constantly. I was always behind, but that is something that you will hopefully get down. But I do think you need to make a little bit of an effort to actually understand the game a little bit. If you're just going in and doing stuff and not even thinking about it, yeah, you'll probably never learn, to be completely honest. I mean, maybe you will if you die and you keep dying, and maybe eventually it'll kind of click. I don't know, but I just wanted to make this video though, like I said, because it's a complicated game. So learn from this gameplay and don't do most of it, all right? Also, don't buy tier 4 items at the very beginning. I get it. Again, you think that it's going to be this big power spike, but that's not really how it works usually. By the time you get to that big power spike, you missed out on a couple smaller power spikes from getting other items that were like 3,200 souls, for an example, which could have been a lot more helpful because you could get 2 3,200 items and that'll add power. Let's say Surge of Power and Tesla bullets if you're on Wraith, for an example. that could work pretty well. Put Surge Power on her cards, Tesla Bullets in general. These are two very strong items, and that would be a lot better than buying something like just Capacitor, for an example. I think that's the best way I could put it. I don't know. You do want Capacitor on Wraith. Capacitor is great. I love Capacitor. And also, again, from a farming perspective, if you get stronger faster with tier 3 items instead of tier 4, for an example, you are going to be able to farm faster and get to that tier 4 much quicker than you otherwise would have been. But anyways, that is going to wrap up this video. I hope I could have helped some people. I don't know, maybe my explanation wasn't amazing. I don't know. Hopefully it was, though. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you guys enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new here to like videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.